Well, hello, good Saturday morning. Welcome to the Father and Son Network live show called Done by Some. How you doing this morning, son?
I'm doing good. Random fact though.
Uh-oh.
On this day in 1930, Gandhi embarked on his 240-mile march as an act of civil disobedience to protest the British monopoly on salt. It was weird.
Okay.
Yeah, it popped up on my phone, so I felt like I
Okay.
needed to say it.
All right. So you giving us random facts. All right, I will take it. So, Done by Some is real fathers and sons having real conversations that matter to make an impact on the world. Real conversations done by some. So my son and I are having this impactful, engaging conversations with other fathers and sons. And I promise you, we're going to be sending out invites. We're just doing these first few shows to really get the show going. We're going to be sending out invites to invite fathers and sons on the show. So don't think that we've forgotten about you or we are didn't put you on a list, because we are going to be inviting you. I have a list. Trust me. So again, we're currently looking for even more fathers and sons to be guests on the show. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, please respond in the comments or send us an email. We'll have our email at the end of the show in the comments, so you can send us an email. If you know a father or a son that we should interview, tag them, share this with them. See, everything that you hear is not necessarily just for you. It's for you to share with somebody else. Be a blessing for someone else and tell them to come check out Done by Some. All right, son. So are you ready to get started here this morning?
I'm ready.
Okay. All right. So we are going to be talking about, we're going to share 4 things with you, and we're going to be quick and out of your way. 4 things sons need, um, 4 things sons need from their fathers. All right. And we got some of this from an author, Roland Warren, but I just thought it was interesting and figured we would share it with you this morning. So, number 1, does my son know that he matters to me? So does your son know that you matter to him, that he matters to you? All right. Now, let's talk about that. We invest money, time, and energy in the things we care about. We should invest that same type of energy in our son. In other words, if you ever want to know what someone cares about, look at their bank statement or ask them how they spend their time. See, the primary way that dads can help their sons understand that they matter is by making them a priority over all the kind of demands that life throws at you, right? So with many things competing for dad's money, for dad's time, for dad's energy, things like our job, technology, entertainment, sports, television, it's easy for a child to think that he doesn't matter. It's critical that dads make it clear to their sons that they are a priority, and that their most important investment is in them. Now, son, I'm going to let you respond here in a second. I was speaking at a father and son breakfast at Jersey Village High School, and it was so exciting to see so many dads and grandfathers and uncles in the room for their sons. That was just awesome. It was an amazing sight. And in fact, I thanked the dads and asked the boys to give them a hand clap, because so many of them took the time from work to go have breakfast with their son at school, in high school. And, in high school, you guys don't want us around.
Yeah, nah. We're trying to be cool.
We can be cool.
In your own way.
Okay, dads. All right, here we go. Dads who are out there listening, can't we be cool? You know how we did it back in the day. These young cats don't know, right?
Exactly. Back in the day. Key word.
See how you do. See how you do. So, what do you think about this point, son? Uh, does my son know that he matters to me?
Yeah. If you are busy as I am right now, uh, when you're my age, I don't know how. I honestly don't know how you would do it. Like if I had a child right now to take care of besides my dog, like it would be tough because I'll have to literally stop most of the things that I'm doing right now. So that decision is something I'm yeah, that's just that's I never really thought about until recently. But one of my good friends, just a quick story, he just had his first child, and I grew up with him in high school, played football with him and everything. And I was speaking to him, and he told me for the first time that he held his daughter, everything just stopped. And he said for the first month, like the only thing that mattered was that baby, that kid. Like he was almost like a robot.
Yeah.
And that's something that I can't even fathom because I always want to just be out there in the world.
Well, you see, when you have a child, then priorities change, things change. All the stuff you used to do becomes secondary to that child.
Yeah. Yeah. You even told me like it was a couple of weeks ago that you just like being busy. You asked me that and I was like, yeah. I have to every single day.
Yeah, you don't never want to take a break. Like, chill out sometimes. Just, folks, let me tell you what. This boy is always. What are you doing? Well, I'm about to go volunteer to this. I'm about to go to this food bank and do this. I'm about to go play tennis over here. I'm about to go play soccer. Or I'm going to this event. This boy's always on the go. But when you have a child, those things change. So enjoy it now, because it definitely will change, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, do you know that you matter to me, and more importantly, do you feel that I care about you?
Oh yeah. All the time. There's not one day that I don't think, and you even tell me.
Yeah. Well, it's a priority. I try to make sure that I do it. I know that, it's interesting. Um, I was teaching a class to some high schoolers a couple years ago, and I was giving them the 7 things that parents should say. And we were going to do this experiment where they had these 7 things that kids need to hear their parents say. And I told them, hey, go and hang this on your refrigerator at home, and don't announce it. Don't say anything. Just hang that sheet of paper with those words on it, on a refrigerator, and then let's just wait and see what happens. And it was amazing how some parents got offended that one of the things on there was to say, I'm proud of you, I love you, I care about you, you matter, you're going to be successful. I look, parents like, well, why do I have to tell you that? Don't you know that I put clothes on your back, I put food in your mouth? No, that's a part of your obligation. It's the words that matter more, that they hear that you care about them, that they hear you say, I love you, I'm proud of you, you're great, you can be great, you can be successful, you can pass, you can do whatever. Right? What are your thoughts on that?
That's just crazy that they would say that. I just
Yeah.
can't. That's wow. Because everybody always talks about encouragement, and especially now, like encouragement and bringing people up and all that. But I
Yeah.
mean, just like I said like a couple of weeks ago, it starts at home, and if you don't ever practice it at home, then you're never gonna do it out to other people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. See, what happens is, um, we get so much in a rush, in a hurry, and we just assume that they automatically know, but they want to hear it. Right? I mean, do you agree with that? That your kids
No,
want to hear that from their parents?
I completely agree. I mean, yeah, actions speak louder than words, but words it begins with the word.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, parents, just make sure you say those things. Fathers, I know we get into this whole macho thing and we don't say I love you and hug and all of that foolishness, right? No, you should. So if you don't, I'm going to challenge you. The next time you see your son or your daughter, your niece, your nephew, your grandchild, your cousin, here's what I want you to do, man. Give them a hug and just say, I love you. Give them a hug and say, I'm proud of you. Give them a hug and say, hey, I know you're going to be successful in whatever you're going to do, you want to do. And see the light that comes on in their eyes, in their face.
Yeah, I always tell, well, it always comes up, but I end up saying, if you always tell a rat that it's dumb his whole life, it's always going to think that's dumb. But if you always tell a rat that it's a genius and it's super smart or it's smart, you're just going to think that it's smart. So it's going to find its way through the maze and say, okay, yeah, I can do it every single day.
Right.
You never tell them, or you just say like, no, you're good enough, or you're not that smart. He's just going to think that.
Right. Yep. 100% agree with you. So let's keep going. The second thing on the 4 things sons need from their fathers. Number 2 is, does my son know that I love him? That's a big one. See, nurturing means a lot of things to a lot of different people. It certainly includes hugging and kissing our boys. Yes, even boys need a hug and a kiss, like I said earlier, right? On a daily basis, and telling them that we love them matters, right? But it also includes taking care of their daily needs, like cooking for them, giving them baths, playing with them, reading to them, helping their mothers. All of those things let your son know that you love them. Now, I've discovered that despite the conventional wisdom that nurturing is primarily mom's territory, see, the root meaning of nurture is to protect, a role that most dads are comfortable with. So let's get comfortable with nurturing, since it means protect. What do you think about that, Patrick?
It made me think of the story when I was little, and every time I would go to sleep, we would kiss on the lips or whatever, and I'll kiss you and mom on the lips and just go to sleep. And then one day I don't remember how old I was, but I asked you, and I was like, I looked at you, I said, is that gay? And then, you just laughed. And then ever since then, never kissed you on the lips again. It was always on the cheek.
Yeah, I remember. I remember, but it's still funny. Yeah, it wasn't gay. But yeah, there does come a point where I know some parents and children still kiss on the lips, even though they're older. That's just what they do. But we don't do that. But it's nothing wrong with it if you do. But it's not gay if you do that. It's more about the act or the action that you're showing your child that you care about them, and that's really what it's more about. So I'm going to ask this question. I think it's a rhetorical question, right? But you don't ever wonder if I love you. I believe you know I love you.
No, of course I know that. You like before, you would send me text messages I think it was like every month. Like you would send me a text saying, just wanted to say, I love you, I'm proud of you, and all that. Even though sometimes I don't want to speak with you sometimes, you either call me, be like, hey, how you doing? I'm your dad. Do you remember who this is? Can I have spoken to you so long?
Yeah. Here's my phone. I just was checking to see if my phone was working.
Yeah, but nah, you ask me questions all the time just to see how I'm doing and things like that. So I know you care about me.
Yeah, yeah. And so let's talk about that from a son's perspective, right? We can always talk about it from a father's perspective, that it's important that we do that, and to help our child. It's just a part of the normal nurturing process. Is also showing you the example so that you can do those things for your children when you have them one day. But let's talk about it from a son's perspective. You know, whether I love you, whether that you matter to me, and even some of these other points that we're going to talk about. But um, how does it make you feel when I tell you that? And how does it make you feel knowing every day you get up that your parents or your father particularly loves you, and know and feel that you matter?
It makes me feel good, like especially when I see the text every month. And it's like, oh, okay, like this makes me like I smile, and then sometimes I text you back, sometimes I won't.
Yeah, he's not good with the hit reply.
I think about it. It's a thought that counts.
Uh, okay, so then you should text that back. Hey, it's the thought that counts.
No, it makes me feel good, and I know it builds up my spirits. Even sometimes if I'm down or something, um, it just builds me up. I mean, it's not really much else I can say about it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, when you get built up and your confidence is high, you lift your spirits up, right? It makes you want to take on the day and take on any challenge that you have, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. And that's really what the point is, folks. So fathers, get comfortable with saying, I love you. Get comfortable with hugging your child. Get comfortable with those things. Just because, so I know a lot of dads say, well, my dad didn't do it to me. That doesn't mean it was right. Right. And look, there was a different era, there was a different age, there was a different time. People did things differently. They they didn't have a whole lot of money in most cases back then. They didn't. They had horse and buggy back then, but you're not riding in a horse and buggy because your dad rode in a horse and buggy, right? So you can't use that as an excuse. You're not walking 500 miles to go to work because your dad walked, right? You getting in that big GMC truck, that Ford pickup, that car, whatever it is, every day. So things can change, and you can do some things that you didn't used to do, that you didn't have when you were a kid, right? That's for me. It's one of the things that why I do it and say it a lot, because it was important to me, because I didn't necessarily I didn't get it from my father at all, but my grandmother, I got that from. My grandfather. He never did say, hey, I love you. You just knew it, but I knew that I wanted it to hear it, right? So I made a conscious decision that when I have a child, I am going to consciously do these things and say these things. So just think about that. Let's keep going. Number 3 on the 4 key things sons need from their fathers. Does my son know that what he does is important to me? See, a son wants to know that the way he is living his life has his interests, his schoolwork, his hobbies, his passion is pleasing to his father. And as any good dad, it's critical for the father to guide you. It's critical for the fathers to guide his son in the right direction, give him some coaching, some mentoring, some advice, help him live a life centered around serving others. And we're going to talk about life serving others, because you do a lot of that, and which we are really proud of you for that. However, you can't expect to teach a son the value of charity if you're not charitable in how you spend time with him. You see, they're watching what you're doing. And if you're not, look, I'm not preaching to you as a father, but I'm just saying, if you're not charitable, it's going to be kind of hard for you to teach your son to be charitable. You can't expect to get him interested in your church community, your service project, if you haven't established a community that includes him in your home. So show him that everything he does is important to you, and that you can show him what is really important, and he'll welcome it every day, all day, and twice on Sunday. So, Patrick, I know you do a lot of charity work. You work with this one organization. You might want to talk about it a little bit, but we talk about it all the time, man, how much you spend a lot of time volunteering for that organization and working, and you're always at some event that they're that you guys are doing, or trying to get us to go to that event and all that type of stuff. So what made you decide to do that? And why did you pick that organization? And, you can mention the organization, it's fine.
Yeah. So the organization is Children Like Lonnie. So the background story is when I moved back to Houston from North Dakota, I wanted to be more in the community. I wanted to help with an actual organization instead of just like doing one-offs. So I just Googled community service near me and found something that took my interest, and it happened to be a food pantry. So I talked to somebody from the Houston Food Bank, and they connected me with the Children Like Lonnie group, because they partner with each other. And it was like, I don't know, the next week I went out and met the lady that runs Children Like Lonnie, and just started helping. So I made it a goal to help at least one time a week with that organization, and it just kind of just grew from there. We became best friends, me and Kiva, which is the owner of the organization, and it's just been going ever since. So that organization is focused on disability children, and every Thursday we have a food pantry at the weekly community center from 11 to 3. We hand out food that we get donated to us. It should last about a week, so it's every Thursday. It never fails. Every Thursday we have a food pantry that's opening up. There's other events that are other things that's happening throughout the week, but I'm mainly focused on the food pantry side. And we just had an event this past weekend, just like a fun day, you could say. We had a Houston Texans player come out. Some of their cheerleaders came out to support. There's a whole bunch of people who had games, food. So that was a pretty big event. And then we have a golf tournament August 30th. Whoever likes to play golf, you're welcome to come. I can send out the link later, but it's just a fundraiser. Be for a good cause, meet, greet, and just have some fun. But no, I like helping out with the food pantry.
Well, that is awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely make sure that you get that link. So we'll put that link in the comments so you can go and check that out if you're here in Houston. And yeah, we're really proud that you are working with them, and I mean, you're really invested in it. So that's awesome. So let's keep going here. We've shared 3 of the 4, so we're almost done here. So the first one was of the 4 key things sons need from their fathers. Number 1 was, does my son know he matters to me? Number 2 was, does my son know that I love him? And number 3 is, does my son know what he does is important to me? And drum roll for number 4. Number 4 is, does my son know how proud I am of him? Now, this one, I really love. I know that I tell my son this all the time. And it's not just to tell him that, it's because I truly am really proud of what he's doing, how he's conducted his life, and the direction that he's going. So I just hope he stays on the on the right track and don't get the big head. This boils down to a son's innate need to be affirmed by his father, right? Your affirmation prepares your son to enter the world with the confidence and the passion and the emotional armor that he needs in order to not just survive, but to thrive. See, and a son needs to know that you are pleased with him, not just for what he does or does not do, but because of who he is. Your son, your love for him is about his being, not just his doing. And you must understand, folks, that we are not, we are a human being, not a human doing. And so your son must understand that at his basic core. If he doesn't, it definitely can have a negative impact on your relationship. It can have a negative impact on other relationships that he has. It can have a negative impact on his life overall. So we don't want to negatively impact our children. So, Patrick, so I think it's a rhetorical question, but I'm gonna ask it anyway because I just want you to respond, and you know, and folks, look, we're always going to give you a genuine response. There's no script here in terms of what we talk about, right? I never tell them, hey, don't say this or don't say that. But do you know, do you understand, and do you feel how proud I am of you?
Yeah, I question it pretty often all the time. If in this sense of going, if I'm going on the right path or if I'm doing the right things. Um, and of course, with our family, we're doing a book study called Sacred Pace. And there's four main principles: consult the man upstairs, gather the facts, watch for circumstances, and then get neutral. And watching for circumstances really kind of depicted of what this question is based off of. And that's one thing that I really watch out for, because it's like little golden nuggets for confirmation in that aspect. Because I'm always looking for, am I doing this right, or whether it's work or just in life in general. And you'll see those golden nuggets if you're paying attention. It also talks about essentially waiting to see how things play out before moving forward on a decision or an action, because with time, the right answer will show itself. So I think that's one thing that I've learned from you, and just me learning from the hard way. And sorry if I'm about to rant, but I ask people all the time, like, do you really want this? Like, do you really truly want success? Because no one is coming to help you. Like, no one is going to push you, and no one's going to tell you to go market. You're going to lose friends. People you used to be like this with aren't going to want to deal with you anymore. But do you really want this? Like, if it's already happened to you, it's part of it. And all I'm going to say is, you pay too much to quit now. So don't quit. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it, but get a reward for it.
I love it. Don't cry about it. Don't whine about it, but get a reward for it. I'm going to take that. I'm going to use that. I like that. Woo, I like that. Look at that. Man. All right. My next speech.
Try not to rant.
No, it's good. It's not a rant. You're helping people go to another level in their mind. And I have a training course that I do. It's called 5% More. I just did this training. If people just gave 5% more in everything that they do, they could take their life to a whole nother level. It doesn't take this big spread. Just 5% more makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, it does.
5%. Calculate what 5% means to you, right? Man, small things. So I love what you said. I love the background that you have, by the way. Forget yesterday, start saying tomorrow, and let's kill it today. Woo, man. I love it. So that is the 4 things that sons need to need from their fathers. If you have some other things that you want to add to that, hey, throw them in the chat. Tell us if you think we're spot on. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a yes. Either one, thumbs up or yes. Right? Put your comments in the chat. We want to hear from you. And we're going to be inviting some real fathers and real sons to come here and have some real conversations, because that's what we do over here. Our show airs every Saturday morning every other Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So, for example, our next show is going to be March 26th. All right. So today is the 12th. The next one, we won't be here the following week. We'll be here the 26th. Okay. So make sure you put it on your calendar. Done by Some, every other Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. Real conversations done by Some. Invite your friends, invite fathers and sons to tune in. Hit the share button, right? If you know someone that we should invite to be a guest on a show, or you know that they should tune in, make sure you go ahead and share this with them. Let them know about it. When you do that, you're adding value to them. And now you got that check mark for this week. You added value to somebody else. Anything else before we go, son?
No way. Hey, go look up Children Like Lonnie. It's a great organization. Hey, if you want to, we're always looking for some helpers. So if you want to help out, do some community service, let me know.
Children Like Lonnie. Go check it out. And we might have to have her on the show one day, even though it's done by Some with fathers and sons. We might have to have her on the show, or I can have her on my Talk Leadership with Cedric to talk about Children Like Lonnie. But check that out. We'll put a link in the comments so you can check it out as well. Donate. You can always use extra funds to help people who are disadvantaged, people who are in need. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope that you have a great rest of your day, great weekend. Go catch some rays on the beach, because I definitely am. Fathers and Sons presents Done
by
Some. Thank you guys and have a good one. Bye-bye.